Hi guys, it's Mike here from KS Bushcraft, and today I thought I'd do a run through of the high pressure tube burner stove and how to fix it. Now probably everyone in Australia has owned one of these at one time or other. They seem to be the entry level stove of choice. Personally, I have to admit, I am not a big fan at all. They're not that reliable in the field due to the very tiny jets they run, and our Australian dust gets into everything. And on my recent Kimberley kayaking trip, I had to repair 2 of them for other people at the campground. Now one of them was complaining that one, it wouldn't work, and the second one was it had a huge flame but it was really slow to cook. So they're pretty simple little brutes, and as I said, they were the entry level of choice for many years in Australia. So unfortunately today I can't see the camera, but they should burn with a nice clean blue flame, and they don't have great pressure regulation because they are running jets and they're high pressure, but this is what they should look like, and that's about as good as it gets. Now, what happens with it, one of the most common faults, underneath this mixing tube is an air hole. So, for some reason, spiders just love them. So often, you'll see this blue, with a big flame with colour, and no heat. And that is because this tube gets blocked, I said often, by a spider's web. And the other problem is they solve is, they suffer from, is these very small jets being blocked with dust and crud. So today I'm going to run you through pulling one to bits. Okay. So this one, as typical of them, is fitted with a 3/8 left-hand thread. So I'll just bleed the gas off. Now this hose and everything on this stove is under full pressure. Now LPG turns into a gas at 32 psi. So if you think of it, there's as much pressure in all these fittings as in your car tyre. It puts it into perspective. So I've bled off the gas. Now the left-hand thread. Now in there, in this one, there is a primary jet, if you want to call it that, plus an O-ring seal. So you need to make sure that they're in good condition. Now my dad bought this stove back in 1980, so here's the hose here, stamped with the date, January 1981. Lovely. Now the stove end is a conventional thread, so you can't get them wrong, but it also has a rubber seal. Now it's important that you keep these rubber seals in good condition. And really, if I was using the stove, I'd change the hose out. Now 2 years ago, a friend of mine had one of these hoses burst on a family camping trip, and it was terrifying because they had multiple stoves on a big table, and it ended with a flamethrower inside the group kitchen. So now the gas flows obviously in this direction, so that jet is removable. Not all these tube burners have a primary jet, and some people make a mistake of buying a new hose and not fitting the primary jet. Right. So they all tend to pull apart pretty simple. So you got the roses. Now it's important to keep these roses clean, so a bit of diligent wire brushing, because if you spill them over onto them, they will get blocked and then it will not work well at all. Now they all seem to have the same fixing method. So underneath there is just a couple of flat-headed screws. Do a little bit of screwdriver. I said I can't see the camera today, so I'm hoping you guys are catching everything important. Oh, there she comes. So the rose assembly has come out, and as I was describing before, this is the air mixing hole. So there is a very fine jet in here. it sprays gas into here, the air comes in through the bottom, mixes, and of course this is the combustion part here. So remember that the gas flows in through here, out through these control valves. There is a secondary jet. I said not all of them have them, some of them you have these jets. Now these are conventionally threaded, so for you guys that need reminders, it's righty tighty, lefty loosey. Now if you are going to take these ones out into the Australian bush, I would suggest you buy some spare jets. Now there's no seals in here. The camera's not got me to see how tiny that hole is. Now you cannot attack this with a pin, but you can if it is blocked. Now remembering which way the gas flows is pop it in boiling water, and if you have a compressor in your car and you have one of those little red ball inflators, you can push backwards against it, and you can clear them out that way, but you cannot do it with a wire pin. So simple enough. Now there are proper tools for removing these jets, and that's it. If you are serious about keeping one of these stoves in the field, I'd probably suggest you buy one. But shifter will do the job quite nicely for you. So it's really not rocket science assembling and disassembling them, and that is your two major problems addressed: blocked jet, blocked air hole, keeping the roses clean. Make sure the hose and O-rings are in good condition, because remember, there's as much pressure in this hose as there is in your car tyres. So really, it's not rocket science. You don't need any techie tools to field strip it, but I said I would recommend you carry jets if this is going to be your only stove, and the more remote you get, the more you want to be prepared. So that's that puppy there. You guys have asked me if I was only to have one stove in my car, which would be the one I would carry. And if we're going LPG, this is my first choice. So unlike this is running a high pressure, this is running a common barbecue regulator. There wouldn't be a hardware shop in Australia that you couldn't buy a hosing kit. So this hose is not under any pressure because of the regulator. So cast iron, easy to clean out, totally foolproof really. And that would be my choice for a really remote outback trip that you use in propane cylinders. Anyway, I hope you found this interesting. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.